Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Before starting, subscribe and like the videos, it really helps a lot. The content from this video are taken from the web novel and manga series of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Now please enjoy the video.
Volume 11 Chapter 3 Transcendental Wisdom Part 1. 1 week has passed since we started looking after Nanahoshi. She would just stare blankly throughout the day. However, it seems the worst period has already passed. Her appetite is thin, but she's eating, and if we press her she even goes into the bath. She goes in without trying to drown herself. However, maybe because her stretched tension was cut, but I can't feel the willpower she previously had. It's a feeling like she would simply break when pushed. She has no energy as well. If I were to say it, it's the kind of mood of someone who was deceived by the Yakuza and found themselves the star of an adult video in no time at all. I can't leave her alone. I need to be cautious not to let her meet someone like Luke. The only thing that I can feel from the current Nanahoshi is resignation. That experiment failed, but it seems she was enduring it to that degree. She seemed so self-confident. It might have been a firm theory. I wonder if that failure had enough meaning in it for the past several years she spent to all be pointless. I've never experienced a setback that big. The closest thing I have is when my data from a net game I continued playing for several years to the point of being an invalid, was deleted. The instant I got the bad login message and account suspension mail, my heart's pounding got intense. I spent almost a full day unable to think of anything. After protesting to the administrations, crying out thoroughly, and finally crying myself to sleep. After that, I couldn't motivate myself to do anything for a month. That time, I swore to myself that I would never seriously play net games again. Nanahoshi's case is different from a net game. She has the objective of returning to the previous world. If she had to give up on that, I'm sure she wouldn't be able to live. Thinking that, I looked here and there for ways to help, but she was just spending every day blanking out. I don't even know if she was able to hear my conversation. Is what I was thinking though. I thought I had closed it all up. One day, she suddenly said that. I didn't respond and just listened. Magic circles, if I were to put them into words of our previous world, there's something like circuit boards. By joining together a number of patterns of circuits you can create a single function. However, no matter what, that one point, the circuit wouldn't connect together. No matter how much I changed the wiring, a certain single point and another single point wouldn't connect. I tried forcefully connecting them together, but then some other place always has a malfunction remaining. For the sake of connecting together a circuit that isn't connecting together, she enlarged something that would normally be half the size. And then in order to fix a single distortion, she added another circuit. In the end it was a magic circle with a malfunction remaining in a single part. Even though it shouldn't seem hopeless at a glance. Just a single part isn't connecting together. It goes against the laws of physics. In other words, it means I won't be able to return to my home. It was a magic circle full of patchwork, almost like paper match. I'm sure Nanahoshi put quite a bit of effort into it. At a glance, if she were to put a bit more effort into it, you might think that the circuit that's not connecting would connect. However, I'm sure if you were to do that again, a different circuit would stop connecting. It's already impossible. Nanahoshi said it like that and fell prostrated on the bed. Part 2. I proceeded towards Nanahoshi's research laboratory. I decided to gather some plans. After hearing her story, I remembered a certain thing. It could be that it can be resolved. Even though I say that, I don't want to give her false hope. First I need to think of what I can do and check into it. Next day, I called Cliff to Zanoba's research room. If 3 people meet, then they say you'll gain transcendental wisdom after all. I decided to borrow the intelligence of the genius Sama. In the research room, naturally as it was, Elinalise followed along as well. To think that Silent would end up in that sort of condition, it's hard to believe. It seems she stays in Cliff's research laboratory, but I wonder what's going on with classes. It seems like she's advanced years, but I wonder if she might end up dropping out of school soon. Well, it's her individual freedom, I guess. She looked like a bit stronger of a girl to me though. A truly strong person wouldn't seclude themselves alone and worry about things. Well, I guess that is true. Elinalise shrugged her shoulders. It doesn't seem that Elinalise has had much contact with Nanahoshi as well. Asking her to help us find some kind of breather might be a good idea as well. Well then, you two. first please take a look at this. I show Zanoba and Cliff the diagram. In that moment, Cliff made a sullen face. What a filthy magic circle. Saying filthy, what an interesting expression. Is there such a thing as filthy and clean? Obviously. When creating magic tools, it won't be settled if you don't create them small and cleanly. If it were me, I'd draw it cleaner. For example, here, if you were to connect them here, this area would be able to work with more refinement. Oh? Cliff pointed his finger at the magic circle and boasted full of confidence. Well, anyone can criticize something that's already completed. Probably, if we did just as Cliff says, the malfunctions would increase again, I'm sure. Ah, but, the idea is amazing indeed. To think of making a loop in this part. Normally you wouldn't think of that. I see, it's because of this description that this side has become complicated. Cliff was muttering some things while looking at the magic circle. This, for example, that for example, or then around here for example. It was all those kinds of words. I wonder if it would be better if I study more. Though it's not specifically guaranteed that I'll understand even if I study it. And then, Shisho, what sort of magic circle is this? It's a summoning magic circle that Silent is researching. Since she's reached a bit of an impasse, I'd like to borrow your knowledge. After saying that, Zanoba tilted his head. However, Shisho, summoning magic is outside of our area of expertise. Well, it's fine even if we can't come to a resolution. Just, if it's something that you can't understand alone, if several people think about it you might figure it out. In reverse, if the field is different, the ideas that come out might be different as well. For the time being, please look at this part here. It seems that the magic circle cut off around here, but do you get it? I pointed my finger at the part where it tore during the experiment. Yeah. So it cut off here, I didn't realize it. This magic circle is incomplete. Where this should be connected to is, here. Cliff was surprised. It seems even though he calls himself a genius, he couldn't recognize that part right away. I guess it's that kind of thing. In order to connect this circuit, do you have any ideas? After asking that, Cliff crossed his arms and gave it some thought. This and that and started muttering to himself. He was writing various things on the memo in his hand. This is a difficult problem. If you were to redraw it from scratch, no, but it's impossible. Could it work if we went with a multiple structure? Around the time when Cliff arrived at his conclusion, Zanoba interposed. Cliff made a puzzled expression. Multiple structure? What kind of talk is that? In the doll that I'm researching, several magic circles are layered to give birth to a single result. Even though I say that, since I've only just started my research as well, I've never even properly drawn a magic circle before. Wait just a second. Doll, you mean, the one from the other day? Show it to me for a bit. Shisho, is that fine? For some reason after asking for my permission, Zanoba returned with the round slice of the doll's arm. Cliff looked at the cross-section round slice of the magic circle with great interest. And then declared it. The guy who created this is a genius. For the excessively self-conscious Cliff to say it, it seems it's that amazing. I've never seen a magic circle like this before. I don't get the theory at all. Are there two magic circles overlapping? No, it's different, there's even more. It seems without them all assembled together it wouldn't move properly, but, even though it was broken it was still moving after all. Why? Sheet. What's going on with this magic circle? Cliff was grinding his teeth in a mortifying way. It's almost like the Prince Sama of the vegetable country laying his eyes on the legendary Superman. I don't really understand it in detail yet though. According to the book, it seems to be a magic circle solely for the sake of controlling the movements of the elbow. After Zanoba nonchalantly said it, Cliff seemed like he was about to sob. I'm sure he's mortified over Zanoba understanding something that he doesn't know. Immediately, Elinalise rushed over to him. She pulled his head into her chest and stroked it. Yes, I understand that since Cliff is a genius, if you investigate it a bit more you'll understand it in more detail. I know that. Cliff turned bright red and regained his energy. As expected of Elinalise, she's reliable. But, since it's a considerably hectic time right now, I'd like you to do that after you return. Cliff-senpai, if you use the technique used in this doll, do you think you can solve the problem in Silent's magic circle? I don't know, but I think there's a possibility. It doesn't seem he knows for certain, huh? However, I'm sure it'll become some kind of clue. Until now, Nanahoshi has only ever drawn magic circles with a single plane. If she were to layer them, I guess such upside-down ways of thinking never came to her. Or else she might not have tried it for some other kind of reason. I'll be praying that this talk was a blind spot on Nanahoshi's end. And then, it would be good if she'll regain her motivation.
That's it guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want more and don't forget to like the videos.